This is your practice page for section 1.3 on postulates. Number 1, it tells you points A, B, and C are non-collinear. Name all of the different points that could be drawn through these points. Name all the different lines that could be drawn through these points. There's no diagram. If you need one, draw one. Just make sure those points are non-collinear. How many lines go through any 2 points? Just one. So I can go through A and B with a line. I can go through B and C with a line. I can go through A and C with a line. If you want to reverse these orders, that's fine, it's not wrong. If you're naming lines, make sure you got the arrowheads there. What is the intersection of line, LM, and line, LN? That's how you read the geometry. We have a postulate that says 2 lines intersect at a point. How did I know it was that point? Well, it's in both. Number 3, name all the planes that are represented in the figure. There's a floor, and then there's 3 walls. Let's name the floor. That's one acceptable way. You would read that as plane ADC. That's the one and only plane that has those 3 points on it. I'm going to name this left wall. That's an acceptable name. If you named it some different way, rearrange the letters, that's fine too. Right wall. Back wall. You need 4 answers. Those are acceptable ways to name a plane. Use 3 letters, any order you want. Number 4, refer to the figure at the right. So we're using this shape. It's a more common shape. It looks like the room that you're in. Name the intersection of these 2 planes. These are planes. It doesn't say the word plane, but I know they're planes because there's 3 letters. We have a postulate that says the 2 planes intersect at a line, so I know my answer is going to be a line. Where is plane ONJ? It's the back. Okay, notice how I'm making a note of that. That's the plane in the back of the figure. Plane KJI, that's the plane that's on the floor. The floor does touch that back wall. Where? If you can visualize it, it's that line KJ. That's your answer. If you can't visualize it, you could look for 2 letters in common. I see a J in common, but I don't see a second letter in common. That's because you're allowed to name your planes other ways. For example, look at that back wall, ONJ. What other letter is on the back wall? K is. Right? So if K is on the back wall as well, isn't that the second letter in common? Okay, so remember, sometimes when they name it a different way, you're not going to see 2 letters in common. That doesn't mean that there aren't. There has to be 2 in common. Okay, so we'll do the same thing here. Here's 2 planes. What's their intersection? Well, their intersection has to be a line. Which line? Well, you definitely have an L in the line. So if I come over here and start writing my answer, line, L, something, what's the other letter in common? Where is plane KOL? That's the left wall. Plane MLH, trace it with your finger or your pencil, that's the front wall. Now, if you look at the plane on the left, isn't H also on it? Okay, so I know there's an H in that plane and an H in that plane. That's my other letter. Okay, now if you're good at just visualizing it, the front wall and the left wall definitely touch right here on this line. That's line HL or LH. Okay, let's go backwards with it now. Can you name two planes that intersect at line MI? So here's line MI. What plane is line MI on? It's on the front. I'll call it MIL. That's the front plane. And this line is also on the plane that's to the right. We'll call that plane MIN, maybe.